Hey everybody, Guns and Granola. It's been a long time since I've done a video. Some things have changed in life, and my wife and I went on vacation in June of 24, and starting to feel bad, starting to have some complications of swallowing and eating and just kind of feeling tired. So we got back and went to the doctor and told her how I was feeling, and she decided she was going to go ahead and do a liver biopsy on me. And I don't know what made her come to that conclusion, but God bless her for figuring it out, because I got diagnosed with stage 4 liver cancer. And yeah, it's kind of a shot. And when I got told this news by the doctor, it kind of took me a second, like, wait a minute, how did I skip stage 1 through 3? Like, doesn't this progressive? Doesn't this move kind of slowly? So it turns out that stage 4 is when it's metastasized or grown to other parts of the body. So mine started in the liver, and then it moved to my stomach and then my esophagus. And it was kind of a oh shit situation. And it was tough to get through. So I'm making a video today, and I'm going to continue to make these videos for as long as I can, to just kind of, if you're new to this, if you've just been recently diagnosed, to kind of help guide you through it and give some tips of what I've been through personally for my diagnosis, and maybe something that you can relate to, and maybe this will help. So I went from 243 pounds at 5'11", pretty heavy, down to 188 pounds in the course of 2 months. And I found out why. It was because cancer needs 2 things to survive: sugar and oxygen. And when it's doing this, it's consuming sugar at around a rate of 200% more than your normal cells can process sugar. So it's just Pac-Manning these things up, just gobbling them up. And it was chewing through my body fat. And then it got into the point where I was getting to muscle dystrophy. We were starting to eat the muscle tissue. I lost a lot of weight and a lot of muscle tissue because of this. So kind of just going through everything and dealing with it in the last 8 months, and just learning. You're learning on the go. They could tell you and give you information about things, but a lot of it is you have to kind of figure it out as you go along. And that's what I'm here to help with. It started with, it was becoming more and more difficult to swallow, to eat food. And it started at work, and I thought maybe I just had a hiatal hernia. And that is where the esophagus goes down into the stomach, and it makes a little curve in it, that gets pulled up through the diaphragm muscle. And it can make it very hard to swallow. So as it turned out, I went and got my, after my liver biopsy, I got my EGD for my throat, and my esophagus was 75% occluded. And I couldn't swallow anything. I was down to essentially pureed strawberries and protein shakes, and that's just not enough. So started treatment, and it was real quick. It was real fast. It was 48 hours later, and I went to the folks at Tennessee Oncology, and they were a lifesaver. And after my first treatment, I was able to eat that same day. I was actually able to eat so I can keep solid food down, and it was kind of life-changing. Just like you're still processing all the emotions and still getting through all this, and it can take a minute, and it did. So I was thinking, stage 4, really? Like, do I have a moon rock sitting in my gut now, just covered in cancer cells? What is this? No, they're very, very small, turns out. I mean, they measure them in millimeters. The biggest one I had was about 2.8 inches by 1.5 inches, so fairly big size. And within, let's say, a month, that major tumor was down to just over 1/2 inch by just over 1/2 inch, about 0.6 by 0.5. So it was responding well, and things were going well. So if you're new to this, and you're trying to figure it out, and it's a lot. It's a waterfall of information and worry and stress, and Your family's kind of freaking out a little bit. You're trying to adapt, and you're trying to give them information as quick as you're getting it. But the hard thing is trying to understand and kind of decipher through that information. So it was very quick, the process from when I got my biopsy and then got accepted to be a patient at Tennessee Oncology. And I had to go through and get what was called a port put in. And I don't know if you can see it, but it's that. And what that is it is a little disc with a hole in the middle of it. And what it does, it allows them for quick and easy access to administer drugs. So that way they don't always have to stick your arm or run through your wrist. And it's just a very quick and easy access port for any type of medication, blood draws, anything they need to get into my body. And it runs from that little disc through a line up here into that little scar right there, which goes into the carotid artery, which then goes behind my heart into essentially, I'm trying to remember the name of it. It's essentially the return line for the aorta. It's on the backside of your heart, superior cava something. I forgot it. I'm sure I wrote it down, but I can't remember it. So, that was a life changer. That changed the game because everything was quick, simple, and right to the point. And because it's going directly into your heart, it's instant. Because within 1 or 2 pumps of your heart, it's through your body. So if you're thinking about getting one of these, or if they recommend it, I highly recommend it. It doesn't hurt when they put it in. You will be a little sore afterwards because they are tugging on you a little bit to get the line up into your your carotid. And you will be sore the next day because it's a little movement and tugging on you and pulling on you a little bit. When they access it, it doesn't hurt. You might feel a small pinch because it's just below the surface of the skin. And the only thing I really had any problem with it was it would itch. So, and that was it. But I love it. It's fantastic. I don't even feel it when they put it in. I don't feel it when they pull it out. They just throw a Scooby-Doo Band-Aid on it and we're good. So if you're new to that and you hear the idea of getting a port installed in your body, it's not a big deal. The biggest thing you just got to worry about is when you take a shower, make sure you cover it because you cannot have direct water pressure on it. You can have water hit your shoulder and run down over it, but you can't have direct water on it. I'm not sure as to why. It was just what they told me. And I just, whatever they tell me, I'm going to do. So with that, we get into kind of starting a treatment and what that consisted of. But for guys and women, I guess, if you're kind of hairy, you definitely want to shave because when they put a giant square tape around it, that's going to hold it in place. And to get that removed with body hair is not good. I've never had a Brazilian wax, but I can only imagine that's what it feels like up on your chest. And it's the superior vena cava is where it goes, on the backside of your heart. And you don't feel it. I have full range of motion. I play golf, and I have no discomfort with it whatsoever. So, but in terms of the drugs and kind of what to prepare yourself for, it could be a little rugged. So my first treatment had to do with a drug called leucovorin, oxaliplatin, and a program called 5-fluorouracil or 5-FU, which is kind of adequate, I think, for that. Because I'm just thinking 5-FU cancer. I'm beating your ass. And but what the nurses don't know, and this is not their fault at all, is they tell you things like you might get neuropathy or you might get cold sensitivity. What they don't explain to you is how brutal these can actually be. And I'm sure you guys have heard the phrase, the treatment is worse than the disease. Sometimes that's true. It feels like it. And when I was going through with it, when you get the drugs, usually they start with a steroid. In my case, they did. I can't speak for everybody. I can only talk about what I've been through. So they'd give me a steroid and it'd wake me up, perk you up. You feel fantastic. And what that does is it helps your body prepare for what they're about to give you. So the leucovorin is a booster for the drug. It's not actual chemo. It helps with the chemo and it helps with the steroid shot. And you will get the heavy drugs, the 5-FU and the Exalplatin. And the Exalplatin is the one that really, really hurt. That one really took a toll. So, and the 5-FU didn't help, and you sit there and you'll be feeling okay, and then all of a sudden you'll just hit a wall of fatigue. All of a sudden you're just ready for bed, right there in the clinic. And it's okay to go to sleep there. They give you warm blankets and a pillow. You can pass right out while they treat you. Because with this treatment, it takes roughly 4 to 6 hours, depending on the level and what you require. And for me, it took a while at first until they kind of figured it out. But the neuropathy hit pretty quick, and it just kind of feels like everything goes to sleep. Like your fingertips, like I still don't have feeling in my fingertips. They still kind of feel asleep. I have full dexterity and range of motion, but right here, it's just dead. I don't feel it. And your feet will feel like you've been sitting on the toilet for an hour and then stand up and jump. And that's kind of the pain you're going to look towards. I'm not saying it will happen, but it did for me. And to the point where you want a walker. You just don't even want to stand. It's rough. And they try to convey that to you, but it's a little hard until you've actually done it. It's kind of like, women trying to explain childbirth to men. Yeah, okay, it's painful, but we'll never really understand it. And there's no way we could. So, but the Exalplatin and the 5-FU does work. It did work for me. It worked really good for me. And then they talked about cold touch sensitivity. And this, the name doesn't do it justice. When they say that, it is like grabbing a lightning bolt. It hurts. And my wife and I learned the hard way. My wife makes excellent salsa. It's just fantastic. It's one of my favorite things she makes. So she had decided to make me some salsa. God bless her. And she put it in the fridge overnight to let the flavors melt, come together, got nice and cold, it's perfect. And we'd both forgotten. And she came out with a chip with salsa on it. And it touched my lips as I was putting it in my mouth, and I felt it, but I was already kind of committed. And it shot through my mouth. There are no words really to describe it. The best thing I could say or think about doing it, I'm trying not to overstate it, is it's like chewing on glass. Like take a wine glass and bite it and then chew it. That's what it felt like. I immediately spit it out onto the floor. It's just an involuntary reaction. I spit it out on the floor, and then I ran into the kitchen and ran warm water to rinse my mouth out because I couldn't do cold. And I came up from the faucet, and I had involuntary tears coming out of my face. I was crying from this. And I didn't know you could do that. And she was so upset, and I felt so bad for her because she thought she screwed up. She did not. It was not her fault. We both forgot. We were learning. This is all very much learning through all of this. And it was so bad with the cold touch that just refrigerator cold water was too cold. So what I would do, and I recommend this to you if you have this issue, is take 2 glasses, fill one of them up with refrigerator water, or just water, set it on the counter and let it warm up. Let it come to room temp. Take another glass, fill that up with water, set it down on the counter, and now you got a room temp water and refrigerator cold water. You take your room temp water, enjoy it, drink it, and then when that's empty, come back, refill it, and you also have a fresh glass of room temp water ready to go. So that way you never run out of water. You always want to kind of stay hydrated with this stuff to help flush your system and to get it out, because this stuff, especially the 5-FU, it attacks not only cancer cells, but it attacks the white blood cells in your bone marrow, and you become immunocompromised, which means you can get sick really easy. So you need to keep drinking a lot of water to help rebuild those cells and to help your body recover. I highly recommend that. Or any type of sugar-free Gatorade or any type of drink with electrolytes in it, because cancer does process sugar so fast that sugar is pretty much out of your diet. You just got to get used to it. There are a lot of sugar-free options out there. Some of them I recommend, some I don't, especially like candies or cookies, because they put a different ingredient in there that causes some serious bathroom effects to where you probably shouldn't leave the house because a fart may not be a fart. It may not be snowflake. So in terms of that was a learning process. And the biggest thing with it is learning along the way. You kind of have to MacGyver your way through life and figure out new tips, techniques, and ways to just pick up things. Because in our world, we try to make things easier for ourselves. So with grabbing things, everything kind of has a texture to it, some sort of shape to help us grab stuff. For example, orange juice lids or milk carton lids. They have little ridges in the cap. Those will set your hands free. If you grab that and try to open it, you don't think of the stuff. To just grab your car keys off the counter when you have neuropathy in your hands doesn't work. Because you will grab the pointy end of the keys and thought you've just been stabbed. And it is intense. It is very intense, and it's very frustrating. It's very demoralizing. And it could be a struggle just to because you have to start to think, what can I touch? You will start to stare at things like, I don't know. Let me grab it from this angle. Let me grab it from underneath. There's nothing more deadly in the world than the side of a piece of cutlery. Not the forks, tangs. Nah, those are harmless. If you have silverware that is kind of thin on the handle, did you reach into the drawer and grab those with your fingertips? It's like running razor blades across your hand. It's amazing the intense level of the neuropathy and the cold touch. Cold touch where I would grab the refrigerator door handle with a towel if it was too cold, if it hurt. So it's just learning that type of thing. And it's not to discourage, but just to give you an idea of what you could be going through. And in doing so, to learn and adapt. You're going to have to adapt around this because it's literally a life-changing thing. In terms of fatigue, you do get fatigued quite easily. You'll go up, take a shower, dry off, and by the time you get dressed, you're gassed. You got to sit down or lay down. Early in the treatment with this stuff, I took a shower and got dried off, got dressed, and by the time I got my shorts on, I had to take a nap. And I was just thinking, what? Stop it, body. What are you doing? No, body was like, no, we're laying down, homie. You don't have a choice. Otherwise, we're going to make you pass out right here on the carpet. So I laid down and slept for 2 hours. And it was fine. Didn't even really think about it. And especially if you have stairs in your house, take your time. There's no race. You on your time and your time alone.